Assalamu alaikum. Hello viewers, welcome again to my YouTube channel. I am Mr. MK. Today I would like to take you through quadratics word problem. I think this question is section B, which carry 10 marks. Let's do these questions together. A group of people planned to contribute equally toward a water project which needed Kenyan shillings 2 million to complete. However, 40 members of the group withdrew from the project. As a result, each of the remaining members was to contribute Kenyan shillings 2,500 more. Find the original number of the members in group. How do you find the original number of the members in that group? Let's do this question together. Now let 2 millions, let's say 2 million divide the original value, which is x. Now to contribute equally toward the water project which needed 2 million to complete. However, 40 of the members of the groups withdraw from that project, meaning that this was the value, this x is the original value. Now you say minus 2 million divide now 40 members withdraw. If the original be x, let the remaining member will be x minus 40, which contributed each remaining members, these remaining members, which we say the original be x, the remaining member will be x minus 40, which the remaining members was to contribute 2,500 more. Find the original number of the members in that group. How do you find the original member now? By just using the LCM, you multiply by the LCM of this number, both sides. Let's say x into bracket x minus 40, you multiply x into bracket x minus 40, x into bracket x minus 40. Both sides we multiply by the LCM of this number. Now x will cancel with x. 2 million multiplied by x will be 2 million multiplied by x will be 2 million x. 2 million multiplied by x will be 2 million x. Now 2 million multiplied by 40, negative multiplied by a negative will give you a positive, plus 4 times 2, which is 8. 8 we have 6 zeros, 1 0, yeah, I think 8 billions, plus 8 billion. Now here x40, negative x40 will cancel with x40. I will remain with 2 million multiplied by x, which will be negative 2 million, negative 2 million x, negative 2 million x. Now from there, now negative 2 million x, this one also x multiplied by x will be x squared, is equals to 2,500 multiplied by x squared will be 2,500 x squared, 2,500 x squared minus 2,500 multiplied by negative 40, which will be negative 100x, negative 100,000 x. I think from there now you collect like that. Positive 2 million, negative 2 million. These two will cancel. These two will cancel. Now I will remain with positive 80 billion is equals to 2,500 minus 100,000x. Now you write it in form of quadratic equation, where we said 2500 x squared, 2500 x squared minus 100,000x minus 100,000x positive 8 billion. If it cross to the other side, it will be negative 8 billion. Negative 8 billion. Now is equals to 0. Let's rewrite it in form of a quadratic equation. Now from there, now you simplify by 2,500 both sides. Divide by 2,500, divide by 2,500, divide by 2,500. 2,500 will cancel. I will remain with x squared. I will remain with x squared minus 2,500 divided by 100,000 will be 40x. 8 billion divided by 2,500. 8 billion divided by 8 billion. 8 billion divided by 2,500, which will be negative 32,000. Negative 32,000 is equals to 0. I think you have write it in form of quadratic equation. Now from there, now you look the sum and product of this number. How do you look the sum and product? We have said that we look the sum, product, and we get the factors. Now we get the factors. The sum is the coefficient of x, which is negative 40, and the product will be 1 times negative 32,000, which will be negative 32,000. Now with the factor, how do you get the factor now? Which two number, when you multiply, you get negative 32,000, and when you add, you will get negative 40. Which are the two numbers now, two factors? How do you get the two factors? Let's say, if I say, let's say negative 200 plus 160. If I say negative 200 plus 160, I will get negative 40 as. And if I say negative 200 multiplied by positive 160, I will still get negative 32,000. Now the two factors are negative 200 and positive 160. Negative 200 and positive 160. Negative 200 and positive 160. Now the two factors, just say you replace with this one now. X squared minus 200x plus 160x minus 32,000 is equals to 0. Now from there, now you factorize by grouping. Let's say here, which is common, x squared, this x is common here, x squared divided by x, I will remain with x, minus 200 divided by x will be, I will remain with 200. Here positive 160 is common, positive 160, close the bracket, 160 divided by 160, I will remain with x, negative. Positive multiplied by a negative will be a negative. Now 3,200 divided by 160, I will still get negative 200 is equals to 0. From there, now we just take 1, which is in the bracket. If it is x minus 200 and x minus 200, you pick one of the value now. Let's say x plus 160. X plus 160 is equals to 0, and x minus 200 is equals to 0. If it is the same, you just cancel one and you pick one. Now x plus positive 160, if it cross to the other side, x will be negative 160. X minus 200 is equals to 0, negative 200, if it cross to the other side, it will be a positive. The value for x will be a positive. Now, the question says, find the original number of the members in that group. The original number of the member in that group will be 200. 200 will be the original number of the member in that group. You cannot get, you ignore the one of negative. Now you take the one of positive as a member. The number of members will be a positive. That is why we say the original number of the member in that group will be 200. I think that was 5 marks. Let's do the next question now. Let's do the next questions. The next question says 45% of the value of the project, 45% of the value of the project was founded by Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Calculate the amount of the contribution that will be made by each of the remaining members. Each of the remaining members. 45% of the value of the project was founded by the constituency development. Now let's get the first 45% of the value of the project. The value of the total value of the project will be is 2 million, I think. Let's get the 45%, which is 45 over 100 times 2 millions. 45% of the value of the project was founded by the constituency development. The project, now a group of members plan to contribute equally to water project. The water project which needed 2 millions. Now let's get the remaining one first. 2 zeros will cancel with 2 zeros. Now 20,000 multiplied by 45. 20,000 multiplied by 45. I will get 20,000 multiplied by 45. I will get 900,000. 45 times 20,000 will be 900,000. Now how do you get the remaining members? Now the total number of the project will be 2 million. Now you take 2 million. You take 2 million. You subtract 900,000 to get the remaining members. First, you take 2 million, you subtract to get the remaining members. Now, you subtract 2 million minus 900,000 to get the remaining amount. That is minus 900,000. The remaining amount will be 11 millions. The remaining amount will be now 11 millions. 11 million. Now the remaining amount will be 11 million. The question says calculate the amount of the amount of contribution that will be made by each of the remaining members. By each. Now we say, let's say the total, the amount, let's get the amount of the contribution that will be made by each of the remaining members. The total amount of the remaining members is this. Now you divide by, you take the remaining amount, you divide by, we said the value for x, we said in this question, we said let the remaining amount will be 2 million divided by x minus 40. The remaining members is x minus 40. I think we say the remaining member is x minus 40. And the value for x we have got as 200. Now you subtract 200. The value for the remaining member will be x minus 40. The value for x is 200 minus 40 now together. Now you say 11 million divided by 200 minus 40 is 160. 200 minus 40 is 160. Why? Because the amount of contribution that will be made by each of the remaining members. We said in this question, however, 40 members remained of the group were withdrawn, meaning that if the original be x, the remaining member will be x minus 40. I think we have got x as 200, which is the original number of members. Now you subtract minus 40 to get 160. You take now the total amount of the total amount that remains, you divide by 160 to get the remaining members. Now you divide by, now you take 11 million, you take 11 million divided by 160, 68, 75, 68, 6,000, 6,800, 6,875 Kenyan shillings. This is now the total amount that was contributed by each of the remaining members. Each of the remaining members will contribute 6,875. I think we have done this. These are 5 marks plus 3 marks, 8 marks. I think this was the last question. Let's do this one also. Let's do this was the last question now. The last question is this one, part C. Let's do part C together. Members of contributions in terms of labor, in terms of labor and money contributed. If the ratio of the value of the labor to the money contributed was 6:19, calculate the total amount of the money contributed by the members. The total amount of the money contributed by the members. How do you go this? Solution. First, get the total ratio here. The total ratio here is, let's get the total ratio first. The ratio for labor to the money. Now, labor to the money is 6:19. Now, let's add first by adding to get the total ratio. 19 plus 6 is, let's say, 6 plus 19. The total ratio is now 25. The total ratio is 25. Now the question says, calculate the total amount of money contributed by the members, which carry 2 marks. I think we already cover 8 marks plus 2 marks, which will be 10 marks. This was the last question. Now the question says, calculate the total amount of the money contributed by the members. Contributed by the members. You need to get the total ratio first. 6 plus 19 is 25. Now the question says, calculate the total amount of the money, meaning that the total of the amount of the money is 19. The ratio for labor to the money, the labor is 6 and money is 19. Now the question says, calculate the total amount of the money. The question needs the amount of money now. The amount of money is now 19 over the total ratio, which is 19 over the total ratio, which is 25, times the amount that is contributed by the members is now 11 million. Now you just say, you simplify by 25, 1 by 25, what? Now you say, using your calculator wisely, 11 million divided by 25 times 19. 11 million divided by 25, 1 by 25, by 25, 1 by 25 will be 44,000. Now 44,000 multiplied by 19. Multiply by 19, which will be 836,000 Kenyan shillings. That will be 836,000. 836,000 Kenyan shillings. That will be the total amount of the money contributed by the members. I think if it is your first time to watch this video, don't forget to share and subscribe, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.